The big question, all right, everybody, let's talk Spider-Man. This is huge. I mean, really, really huge. So Spider-Man No Way Home ended, and we were all just sitting there in the theater, right? Popcorn finished, tears in our eyes. And the biggest question on everyone's mind wasn't just, will his friends ever remember him? No, it was bigger. It was, who is going to make his gadgets now? Think about it. Iron Man is gone. Happy doesn't know who he is. All that fancy, high-tech Stark Industries stuff, poof, it's all gone. Peter Parker is on his own, swinging through a snowy New York City in a homemade suit. It's a brand new day, and with it comes a million questions. This is the stuff that keeps fans up at night. Seriously, the internet is buzzing with theories. Everyone has an idea. Some people think maybe, just maybe, another big brain from the MCU will step in, like someone from Wakanda, or maybe even Reed Richards from the Fantastic Four if they ever show up. But here's the thing. And this is what we're hearing from all the whispers and rumors. The answer is much simpler and honestly, way more exciting. The person making Spider-Man's gadgets in the next movie is Peter Parker himself. I know, right? It's a total game changer for our friendly neighborhood hero. This rumor is sending shockwaves through the fan community because it takes Spider-Man back to his roots. For years, we've seen him with all the bells and whistles. He had an AI in his suit named Karen. He had instant kill modes. He had nanotech that could form a shield. It was incredible, don't get me wrong. But at its heart, Spider-Man has always been about a brilliant kid from Queens who uses his own smarts to be a hero. He's a genius. This is our chance to finally see that side of him in the MCU without a billionaire's shadow looming over him. And hey, while you're thinking about all this amazing stuff, do me a favor. If you're excited, hit that like button, drop a comment with your own theories, and definitely subscribe for more. We've got a lot more to talk about. Let's really get into this because it's so cool. The idea of Peter Parker being his own gadget guy is everything. Remember in the comics? Peter was always tinkering. He wasn't just a superhero, he was a super genius. He created his web fluid formula in his high school chemistry lab. That's the guy we're finally going to meet in the MCU. This isn't just about him losing his connections, it's about him finding himself. He's not Iron Man Jr. anymore. He's not an Avenger in training with a safety net. He is Spider-Man, built from the ground up by Peter Parker's own two hands and his incredible mind. Imagine the scenes we could get. We could see Peter in his tiny, rundown apartment, hunched over a desk, covered in wires, beakers, and half-finished projects. He's trying to get his web shooters to work just right. Maybe they clog up mid-swing. Maybe one of them shoots out way too much web fluid and sticks him to a wall. It adds a whole new layer of struggle and, let's be honest, comedy to his life. This is where the real character development happens. He's not just fighting supervillains, he's fighting his own limitations, his budget, and maybe even a faulty toaster that keeps blowing a fuse. It's relatable, and it's pure Spider-Man. This shift forces Peter to be more creative than ever before. When you have unlimited resources, you can build a solution for anything. But when you're broke and alone, you have to think outside the box. He'll have to use his knowledge of science to solve problems in ways that don't involve calling for backup or activating a secret drone protocol. This is where we'll see his true genius shine. So when we say back to basics, it's not a downgrade, it's an upgrade in character. It's a return to the core of who Peter Parker is. He's a kid who was given great power, but his greatest asset was always his mind and his heart. Now, with everything else stripped away, those are the only things he has left to rely on. He has to become the hero he was always meant to be, not because of a fancy suit, but because of his own intelligence, his own resilience, and his own unwavering will to do the right thing. That's the hero I can't wait to see on the big screen. Okay, let's talk about the suit, because at the end of No Way Home, we got a quick peek at it, and it was perfect. I mean, just perfect. It wasn't nanotech, it wasn't sleek and metallic. It was fabric. It looked like something a person could actually sew together. And that's the whole point. This new suit is a visual symbol of his journey. It's bright, it's classic, and it's 100% homemade. The design itself tells a story. Look closely at the texture. You can almost see the stitching. It has a classic, almost retro feel to it, which is a big departure from the high-tech armor we're used to. This isn't a suit that can take a missile. This is a suit that can probably rip, and Peter will have to go home and patch it up himself. That detail alone makes him so much more vulnerable and, in a way, so much more heroic. Every time he goes out there, he's putting himself at real risk without a fancy AI to warn him about every little danger. He's just a guy in a suit he made, trying to save the day. Think about what this means for the action sequences. Without the Stark tech, he can't rely on a bunch of different web combinations at the push of a button. No more taser webs or web grenades unless he figures out how to make them himself. This forces him to be more physical, more acrobatic, and more reliant on his own spider senses. The fights are going to feel more raw and intense. It's going to be less about overwhelming his enemies with technology and more about outsmarting them with his agility and his environment. It's a return to the spectacular, amazing, and sensational acrobatics that made us all fall in love with the character in the first place. And let's be honest, it just looks fantastic. The classic design is a love letter to the fans and to the history of the character. Let's really dig into the loss of Stark tech, because it's more than just losing cool gadgets. It's like Peter Parker has been riding a bicycle with training wheels for his entire MCU journey, and someone just came and took them off, and the bike is on fire. And he's at the top of a really big hill. Tony Stark was his mentor, his benefactor, and his safety net. He gave Peter everything he needed to be a hero on a global scale. But now that safety net is gone. He's swinging without a parachute, and it's both terrifying and incredibly exciting for his character. This forces Peter to grow up in a way he hasn't had to before. He's always had someone to look up to or to fall back on. First Tony, then Happy. Now there's no one. The world doesn't know who Peter Parker is, so he can't just call the Avengers for help. This isolation is a core part of the Spider-Man mythos that we haven't fully seen in the MCU yet. He has to make the tough calls all by himself. He has to decide what kind of hero he's going to be without a mentor's voice in his ear telling him what to do. The end of Stark tech also raises the stakes of every single fight. Before, if his suit got damaged, the nanites could just fix it. If he was overwhelmed, he could call in a drone strike. Now, every punch he takes will leave a bruise. Every cut will be real. His gear can break, and if it does, he's in serious trouble. This makes every villain, even a simple street-level thug, a credible threat. He can't afford to make mistakes. This newfound vulnerability will make audiences feel every hit he takes and cheer for every victory he earns. Ultimately, this is the final step in Peter's journey to becoming his own man. He has honored Tony's legacy, he has fought alongside the Avengers, and he has saved the world. But now he has to save his little corner of it, his neighborhood. The training wheels are off, and it's time to see what he's really made of. This isn't the story of a boy becoming a hero anymore. It's the story of a hero becoming a man, and it's going to be one heck of a ride. So, with Peter being more vulnerable and on his own, it only makes sense that the world around him gets a little scarier. All the rumors are pointing to Spider-Man 4 having a much darker, more mature tone. Think about it. He's not a high school kid anymore. He's a young adult living alone in a big city, struggling to pay rent and dealing with the fact that no one in the world knows he exists. That's a heavy burden to carry, and the story is expected to reflect that. We're moving away from the lighthearted high school comedies and into a more serious, street-level crime drama. This darker tone means the risks are going to be higher than ever before. It's not just about saving the world from an alien invasion. It's about saving one person from a mugging. It's about stopping a gang war from tearing a neighborhood apart. The problems are more personal, and the consequences are more immediate. When Spider-Man fails now, it's not just a headline on the news, it's a tragedy that he sees up close. He'll have to face the moral complexities of being a hero in a city full of shadows, where the line between right and wrong isn't always so clear. We could see a Peter Parker who is pushed to his absolute limit. He's dealing with grief, loneliness, and the immense pressure of being the city's only protector. This could lead to him making mistakes, maybe even crossing lines he never thought he would. How does he maintain his optimism and his moral code when he's constantly faced with the worst of humanity? This tonal shift also opens the door for different kinds of stories. We could see mysteries, detective work, and suspenseful thrillers. Spider-Man isn't just fighting villains, he's investigating them, tracking them through the city's underbelly. This move toward a grittier, more grounded narrative feels like a natural progression for his character after the universe-altering events of No Way Home. He's been to space, he's fought Thanos, but now he faces his greatest challenge yet, surviving the streets of New York City all by himself. The stakes have never been more personal. With a darker street-level story, you need street-level villains. And boy, are the rumors flying. The big one that everyone is talking about is Wilson Fisk, the Kingpin. We saw him in the Hawkeye series, and we know he's a major power player in New York's criminal underworld. The rumors suggest the plot could revolve around a massive gang war for control of the city. We could see classic Spider-Man foes like Tombstone or Hammerhead leading their own factions. This would create a chaotic, citywide conflict that Spider-Man is caught in the middle of. This gang war scenario also allows for the introduction of other street-level characters. Maybe we could finally see a proper team-up with Daredevil, who has his own history with Kingpin. Imagine Spider-Man and Daredevil fighting side by side in the alleys of Hell's Kitchen. The fan reaction would be unbelievable. The big theory is that the movie could be setting up the Sinister Six, but a more grounded, street-level version of the team. Kingpin could be the one who organizes them, bringing together a group of Spider-Man's deadliest foes to take him out once and for all. So, after all this talk of new gadgets, new suits, and new villains, let's circle back to that original question. Who is the new tech guru? Who is Peter's new guy in the chair? The answer, as far as we know, is simple and a little bit heartbreaking. Nobody. All the rumors and all the evidence from the end of No Way Home point to the fact that Peter Parker is, for the first time in his MCU life, completely and utterly on his own. And that's the most exciting part of this whole thing. He has to become his own Tony Stark. When he finally takes down the Kingpin or stops that gang war, he will have done it himself. Every victory will be his. Every piece of gear that works, every plan that succeeds will be a testament to his own genius and perseverance. It's the ultimate underdog story. Spider-Man 4 is shaping up to be the most personal, intense, and character-driven Spidey movie yet. What do you think? Are you excited for a solo, DIY Spider-Man? Let me know in the comments below. And please, don't forget to like this and subscribe to the channel for all the latest updates. It's going to be a fun ride.